Hey everyone, welcome back to Garnock Reviews. For regular viewers of my channel, you'll know that I've worked with Zeigler Yacht Sales on a regular basis since starting my channel. But Mark rarely gets sailing yachts for sale, so whenever he calls me down to check one out, you know you're getting something special. And that's exactly what you get with this 1988 Tartan 40. At the time of shooting this video, it was up for sale in Jacksonville, Florida for $118,500. And this boat's been meticulously maintained inside and out, having had the same owner for almost 15 years. As soon as you step on board, I love how clean and clear the deck is. It's a very easy yacht to walk around. You always feel safe and secure. And I also love and appreciate how the owners have got all the woodwork on board, and it's all covered up underneath this canopy, so when the boat's not in use, it gets protection from the Florida sun. And I also appreciate the wide beam. This yacht's approximately 40 feet in length, but she's got a beam of over 12.5 feet, giving you great stability as well as plenty of room. And you'll see on the bow this one does have an electric windlass, as well as roller reefing for that furling sail. And then as I pan the camera around, you'll see all the lines lead back to the aft cockpit. And at face value, all the mast and rigging that goes with it appears to be in exceptionally good condition for a boat of this age. You'll notice we've got a number of framework options as you walk around the yacht, and it's always great to have something to hold on to. It's easy to do it in the marina, but imagine this is really beneficial when the boat's underway. You've got the two large vents that's got great airflow straight into the cabin. And then check out that spray hood. You'll also get a closer view once I go in the cockpit. But this spray hood looks like it's virtually brand new. It's so crisp and clear to see through, and offers plenty of shade and protection for everybody on board. And once in the aft cockpit, again all the woodwork's protected by more canopy covers. You've got the man overboard life sling recovery system in the starboard quarter. You get a board and ladder and stern access if you ever want to go swimming, diving, but also for getting on and off the tender. And then this one's got the full engine controls, but it's also got all the navigation equipment outside at the wheel. This is a yacht that's designed for some serious cruising, and it's extremely well equipped for that. And as well as having that spray hood, we've also got a bimini canopy cover over the top. And obviously this can be removed in sections, or it can be removed completely. And then if I lift up the corner of this canopy cover that we have over the deck, you'll see here the teak decks are in exceptionally good condition. On any boat, storage is a premium, but even more so in sailing yachts. And this one's got a tremendous amount of space. Here we've got in the starboard quarter, there's enough room in here. You could also throw in a lot of the mooring lines that you've got once the yacht's underway. And in the port quarter, they've actually got this where they've got the life jackets in here, as well as a manual bilge pump. Underneath the port seat, we've got another storage locker. I also like the fact that there's padded seats available for out here. All in, I'd reckon you can probably get 6 adults on here. And then we also have a folding cockpit table, and not only does that expand out, but it's also got leafs as well that you can open out completely. And as we move further forward, you get a closer view of that spray hood, but you'll also notice all the lines that lead back to the aft cockpit. We've got the winches here, we've also got all the clutches, and everything's clearly labelled so you know what you're controlling and operating. Just a few short steps down takes you into the lower accommodation. And for me, first impressions are always key whenever you step onto a boat. And for me, with this one, I loved how much natural light there was. I loved how much headroom there was. And you definitely feel the appreciation for that wide beam. So you'll notice on the port side is where you've got the galley. But in the port quarters, actually where you've got the navigation station. Not only is this right at the bottom of the steps, but there's also actually a little hatch here that you can open straight to the cockpit. So it'd be really easy to communicate with anybody at the helm. You've got plenty of room here for plotting your next course, but you've also got a tremendous amount of documentation that comes with the boat, all the history, the service manuals, the operator manuals and things along those lines. And then as we move on to the galley, this is a yacht that I honestly feel you could either live on or you could spend extended periods of time on, so if you are looking at doing extensive cruising, this is definitely one to consider. And throughout the entire yacht, notice how most of the hatch doors have got that louver effect. That way you've got air flowing through it, so it doesn't have the same dampness and mould that you sometimes have on sailing yachts. Although we've got great countertop space here, this is actually refrigerated storage. With further access down below. Perfect down below for something like a drinks cooler. You've then got the gas oven and grill with a 3-burner stovetop, and this does have a locking mechanism at the bottom where you can put it on a gimbal, and that way the cooker's always going to be upright even if the yacht's sailing at an angle. And I moved that kettle out the road and put it back on the stove. You'll see that underneath this countertop space we've got plenty of room down for dry storage goods, things like canned goods, things along those lines. And as I open some of these doors, you'll notice that it's all got the locking mechanism. Being a sailing yacht, you expect this yacht to be at an angle at some point, and that way you don't need to worry about the doors opening, you don't have to worry about anything falling out. Also in a galley you get a double stainless steel sink, and the faucet that you have here is actually got like a shower head that's retractable. That always makes it easier, especially when working in close quarters. And this yacht does come with a 110 gallon freshwater tank capacity, and it's got 47 gallons of fuel on board. And finally we've also got an access hatch here that leads straight to the trash, so if you are preparing meals it's a great way to be able to just slide that in there. And to starboard we've got a guest cabin. Now, one of the first boats my dad actually had, my brother and I used to refer to this as a coffin bed, but whenever you step into this, that's far from the truth on this one. There's so much space, there's so much light, and there's so much room that you do not feel claustrophobic in here at all. We've got storage underneath the bed, there's different drawers, and then there's drawers to the front of the cabin, and there's even a hanging locker space here as well. Moving forward to the saloon, this is one area where you definitely feel that beam. There's so much space here for everybody to enjoy a relaxing time around the table. Look at how thick and padding it is for those seats, they're extremely comfortable to sit on. There's a tremendous amount of natural light coming through, and those are opening portholes so you can have fresh air coming in as well. We do have a large hatch overhead, and this has got that mesh screen so you can open it and not have to worry about bugs coming in. And then on the starboard side, if I open some of these lockers, you'll see this one's slightly different because this one's actually got a drinks cabinet built into it. And in this drinks cabinet it's even illuminated, so that way you can serve up those refreshments and keep your family and friends entertained. And speaking of entertainment, this one's also got a large TV mounted on the bulkhead. And in terms of accommodation, the cockpit table that's actually in the middle here, this has got leaves that open up, that expand out, which is great if you want to have something like a meal, but this one actually drops down and the saloon becomes another double berth if you wanted to. There's also more storage underneath the seats if you remove those cushions. And then as we move forward, you notice there's a little bookcase and magazine rack on the starboard side as well. And then to port is where you're going to find the heads compartment on board, and for a sailing yacht there's a really good amount of space in here. They've also utilised the space well. There's a clever design where there's a little seat that folds down on top of the toilet. You can lift this up and lock it out in place, and that way you can use it as a toilet, or you can bring that back down and sit on it in the shower. As well as having all the different storage cabinets and lockers that we have in here. Again, it's all got that louver ventilated effect to it. The shower itself is the faucet that you use, and a wash hand basin that's behind the main door. We also have a large mirror in here. Sometimes having a large mirror also helps make the area feel bigger, and that way you don't get that same claustrophobic hemmed in feeling that you sometimes have. And then moving forward, we've got the owner's cabin on the bow. Again, in this cabin there's a tremendous amount of natural light. Most of that is thanks to the large overhead hatch, and again this hatch has got that screen effect, so that way you can open it with fresh air, not have to worry about the bugs coming in. You get access to the anchor locker on the bow. There's a large storage area under the bed. That's great not only for things like your holdalls and stuff like that, but as this is a sailing yacht, this would also be a great way to turn it into a sail locker, especially with that overhead hatch. We get different drawers, lockers and cabinets in here. And then if I take a couple of steps back, you'll even notice we've got a full hanging locker space here as well. And then in this hanging locker space, they've actually got a mesh screen that slides in at the hatch as you're coming down the steps. And again, that way you can have it where you've got fresh air coming in and out, but you don't have to worry about any bugs. Being a Scotsman living in Florida that's allergic to mosquitoes, it's a great combination if you ask me. And the main engine for this yacht is located underneath those steps. This yacht's powered by a Yanmar. It's a 4JHE diesel inboard. It's approximately 44 horsepower, and it's got approximately 2,500 hours on the clock. I like how accessible all the main service and components are. That way it's easy to do your daily checks, but always keep up with your regular routines. And at 44 horsepower, you're going to have plenty of power for pushing through any tides and currents you have, should you ever want to cruise under engine instead of sail. I'd like to thank Mark for the opportunity to come on board, check this one out and share the video with you. But as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. If you can go ahead and leave a comment down below. If you haven't done so already, if you can hit that like and subscribe button, it really does make a difference. And I look forward to catching you on the next one. Thanks everyone.